All right, welcome back. So it's been a while since I've made a video. Let me go over what I want to make this video about. So you can see it's been about a week since I made the last video. Before that, uh, I've kind of scattered all over the place. So there's some good candidates for what to continue making videos on, especially the autocon content. That would be great because I've been meaning to review that, but I just constantly never get around to it. So like making videos on it is a good way to actually um, uh, uh, stay focused on that. I did make a post about loose ends I'd like to close. So there's a lot of great stuff out there, and I kind of have this tendency to just see it halfway through. So to go back and close it out would be really good. So Automate Your Network by John Capobianco is kind of in my opinion, a gold standard book that goes and it gives you more of an overview. It doesn't give you a lot of details, but in this age of ChatGPT, you should be able to figure that out. Like I feel like overview books are a lot more important in this day and age, where you can get all the details from the AI. So, so that's a good candidate. Um, so the next one is I have this lab up here that I've had posted for a long time. So we go in, and then this is right from the book Automate Your Network. Um, None of like the lab isn't actually built out. Like I have a out of band management network, but there's no in band management network set up right now, and there's no like actual like production network set up either. So this is actually quite bare. It may look as if it's gotten a lot of time and attention on it, but the truth is that these are all, for the most part, empty. If I start this up and go in and look at a few of these, we'll see that the show runs on them look quite blank. When you're working in the real world on production gear, sometimes these show runs can be thousands and thousands of lines long. So, because they have like ACLs on them, route maps on them, they have all the interface configuration on them, and the interface configuration itself is tens of lines long for each interface on it. So, they have like remote access things set up on them, like SNMP or NetConf. So they have like, you know, potentially 1,000 lines, certainly hundreds and hundreds. But we can see if I pull up a few of these. Um, so let's open this in a new web console. Open these. Really, I've only got a few lines on them. They're not built out basically at all. So that's a big thing I would like to do is not only build them out, but build them out using like an AI pipeline or like using these new modern methods of AI. So I'll do a show run on this device. Now we can see I do have this this booted up pretty fast, right? This is actually in a pretty good state to do this in right now. Like all of this, one precedes another, right? So I did a lot of good work on my lab recently. I was running everything on the SAS uh, disk that came with it. So SAS disk, if we look up that, yeah. So serial attached SCSI is an enterprise grade storage drive offering high performance. So uh, oh wait, no, I was. Oh, right. So it's not SATA. Oh, okay. So that was actually better. Okay. Well, that I didn't know that. Well, that's good. But anyways, whether it's SATA or SAS, it's still not as fast um, as a SSD, right? Let me fact check on that. So evaluate this claim. Whether it's SAS or SATA, it's still not as fast as an SSD. I'm pretty sure that's true. If it's not true, then it's strange because adding in SSDs to my lab made it function way better. Yeah, it's mostly true, but sloppy in wordage. So, um, okay, so SAS versus SATA, media type. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So SAS versus SATA is just the connector on it. The actual, whether it's an SSD or a mechanical, is what's behind the connector. So yeah, thank you, ChatGPT. Um, so the connector doesn't really matter. In fact, you could have a SSD with a SAS connector, and that would probably be the best. Um, in fact, let's see what those costs, because that could be my next upgrade. SSD with SAS interface. Yep. So here's one right here. So this is a wow. Look at this. Oh, $15,000. No thanks. I'll pass on that one. Um, but yeah. So like some of these look somewhat doable if they're because I've got discs on there that are like 500 meg. So if I can get like a 4 terabyte SSD with a SAS sorry, I have this thing where I gag like all the time. It's terrible. So far, I haven't gagged that much on camera, but first time for everything. I'm surprised it hadn't happened earlier. I never throw up. I just gag all the time. If I had an editing team, this would be edited out. All right, so yeah, look at this. Look at this. Oh, but 5,000. See, once so we need to get under 1,000. This is probably the most I could do. Ah, look, it's only a terabyte though. So yeah, okay. Well, there you have it. So you have the interface to the system, which is either a SATA or a SAS, and then you have the media type, which are either solid state or hard drive. So you're going to get gotcha. Okay, this makes a lot of sense to me. So, but in the end, the most bang for your buck is going to be the media type. You really need a solid state drive independent of the interface if you want really high performance, right? I'm pretty sure this should check out as true. Yeah, exactly. So I was running a SAS interface to a mechanical drive. In fact, no, it's still in there. Okay, it's still in there. So that was slowing me way down. That was basically the main issue. Anytime it had to pull something from the disk rather than from the RAM, or anytime it had to load something up to the RAM, and that's why you'll see in some of my earlier videos, if I go back to lab.grandpush.com, I click on Guacamole, I log in, and then I go into the remote desktop session. So we can see I'll open VS Code and I'll start counting. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. 10 seconds and it's up and ready to go. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's not as good as it being instant, but it's a lab, right? It's like how we saw. Okay, well, you're welcome to have no storage problems, but you got to pay $15,000 for that SAS SSD. Yeah, so my goal here is to strike that balance between performance and affordability. So 10 seconds, in my opinion, is really good because I've spent not that much on this lab at all. Um, like the money I've earned with this lab, is probably so far been greater than the money I've spent on this lab. And if I could get more work, like for instance, like teaching on the lab, that ratio would get even better. And the lab was in very rough shape for a lot of its existence, but that is not so much the case anymore. All right, so there we go. So what do we got? What do we got here? What do we got here? Right. So that's another thing I could do to go back and get up to speed is fully architect out my lab simulation environment, especially using AI. That would be exciting. The other thing I could do is the best book out there on the market for learning about AI, in my opinion, is AI Engineering by Chip Hewen. It covers everything, and it's the kind of book to like. I think tech books are going to be changed to be more like this going forward, where it gives you an overview. It doesn't dive like really far down into the weeds because the moment you write a tutorial nowadays is the moment that your tutorial is obsolete. Things are going like I'm a believer that even Python, after a few years, might just completely go away and become completely obsolete because it's a language designed to be written and read by and for humans. So there's a lot of trade-offs where we're gonna do it in a way that's maybe not the most performant way possible on the machine, but we're gonna do it that way so a human can better understand what we're doing. And that was great before the age of AI. But in the age of AI, the human just talks to the machine. Like if you're looking at code, you lose already. So really, you want to use the most performant code you can get your hands on in the age of AI. So I even think Python itself is might just completely go away at some point. People will just port it all into Rust or even just like C, just plain C. I mean, if the AIs are that good, like or the new AI language, right? There's going to be an AI language. Like I will firmly predict that right now. In fact, so I'm going to write down my 2026 AI predictions. Yeah, this will be fun. Okay, so new AI language, new programming language, new AI created. AI creates new, yeah, AI creates new programming language that rapidly gains popularity in in okay. Did I spell programming wrong? There's two M's. The second M stands for mistake. Okay, so AI creates new programming language that rapidly gains popularity. Let's put that there. Um, yeah, build that out as I'm going. So that's another good one. Um, is uh, yeah, Rust. Yeah, Rust. Yeah, Rust usage increases while Python decreases. Put that under there as well. Uh, oh, I'm gonna say OpenAI. I don't know. Continues to lag behind. Yeah, OpenAI ChatGPT declines rapidly, causing a crisis with investors. Um, I think that'll happen too. I mean, that already happened technically with the ads because it was against their like morals and values to have ads on it, and then they put ads on it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say I think Meta will do something really good because I like that model of like treating AI prominent AI researchers as like though they're like NBA all stars, and just like lavishing them with money and autonomy and power to like I like that idea. Um, so we'll say Meta becomes a leader in the becomes an AI leader. Yeah, some way somehow. I'm not sure how. Uh, let's see here. All right. So that's another thing I could do is uh, finish this book. This is a great book. Now, the other thing I could do, and that's kind of what I wanted to make on this channel here, this video here, but I kind of feel like I should do that in another video because I'm already 16 minutes in. Um, so, but one of my favorite people out there in the world of AI education is Noah Gift. Just everything he says, I find myself really like agreeing with. He's a big fan of the Toyota way, which is a way of working that I find to be quite profound. He's got all of the, I mean, it's Toyotas, right? Toyotas are known for being these like perfect, reliable car. I drive a Toyota that's 10 years old. Like so many people drive Toyotas, you know, for like hundreds of thousands of miles, 200, 300,000 miles, like well beyond. So it's like people buy like Toyotas like retain their value longer than other cars too. So it's like there's something to this Toyota way of doing things, and all of his stuff is like really all about that, the Toyota way, the Toyota way, um, the Toyota way. Okay. Yeah. So, and then he's got any credential you could possibly want him to have. He has masters he was a professor at uh, UC Davis, and I think he was at Duke for a while. I don't know, but yeah, uh, lecturer at Duke. Maybe not a full professor, but yeah. But anyways, I already started on him. He's got a so practical AI, so PAI machine learning. So practical AI slash machine learning, a sovereign AI stack, extreme test-driven development for EU-compliant AI systems. So this is a series I already started. I'm super interested in this because I'm really interested in an EU compliant system as well because I just want to know like what other entities in the world think about AI when it comes to like safety and stuff. And for me, it's always important not to get trapped in like a bubble, and like to not like whether you agree or disagree, like you should have a basis of exposure and knowledge to hinge that opinion upon, right? So like, I want to know what EU compliancy for AI is, whether I agree with it or not. All right. So then the other thing I could do is periodically check back into the 2027 article. see how those. So we can do that right now, quick. So it's January, very nearly February 2026. So let's check back into this. Do we have a prediction for this time? We don't have any predictions yet. So we have a December prediction, so we should be able to see if the December prediction came true or not. World's most expensive. So OpenBrain is building the biggest data centers. Yep, we're definitely seeing that come true. This is Project Stargate project. Talked about that a lot on this channel. Um, okay. And OpenBrain, they kind of give away the game. They're talking about Open AI, which is true. I mean, they're still ahead. They're still building this Project Stargate big things. Um, yeah, so AI is focusing on AI research. Yeah. Oh, this came true. So OpenBrain has a model specification, a written document describing the goals, rules, principles, etc., that are supposed to guide the model's behavior. So Anthropic, that's just kind of a catch-all fictional company, but Anthropic uh, Constitution, yeah, constitutional AI. Yeah, so this is that. So that came true for sure. Yeah, describing it. Yeah, agent was. Yeah, right. Exactly. Don't say this particular word. Here's how to. Yep, exactly. So this is just the public. This is just the public one. So they have a private one as well. Let's specifically see if the word "don't" shows up on here. Shows up 45 times. But yeah, that came true. Okay, so now we're in early 2026. So now we're in the era of coding automation. The bet of using AI to speed up AI research is starting to pay off. OpenBrain continues to deploy the iteratively improving Agent One internally for AI R&D. Overall, they are making algorithmic progress 50% faster than they would without AI assistance, and more importantly, faster than their competitors. The AI R&D progress multiplier. What do we mean by 50% fast? So this is just the technical. Yeah. So that's we can skip that. Um, so people naturally try to compare Agent One to humans, but it has a very different skill profile. It knows more facts than any human, knows practically every programming language, and can solve well specified coding problems extremely quickly. On the other hand, Agent 1 is bad at even simple long horizon tasks like beating video games it hasn't played before. Still, the common workday is 8 hours, and a day's work can usually be separated into smaller chunks. You can think of Agent 1 as a scatterbrained employee who thrives under careful management. Savvy people find ways to automate routine parts of their jobs. Yeah, yeah, that's coming true. I think for for me, I've built an AI that integrates to my calendar, to my email, to everything like that, and it's really helped me stay on top of a lot of things, especially in my job search. I think that's probably helped me a lot with my job search because now, um, you know, I would have this problem where like I'm on every recruiter's list out there, so I get a lot of stuff coming in, but I don't know what actually is a good fit or like anything like that. And like I've signed up for a million job boards. So like I would have this problem of like filtering things out. So like talking to the AI, it's like you have to respond to this recruiter because this is a perfect match. Do not let that recruiter go. Or otherwise, I'd just be trying to respond to every recruiter that contacted me, and I'd eventually get through the day responded to everyone except the recruiter I needed to respond to. So it helped me kind of cut away the noise and focus on the signal. So I'm definitely a savvy person that found a way to automate routine parts of my job, which at this time was to find a job. But people on the job are certainly using, like Claude Code, things like that, to really good effect. So OpenBrain's executive turned consideration into an implication of automating AI research and development. Security has become more important. I got a match. Well, we'll turn off all notifications for that. It's become more important. In early 2025, the worst case scenario was leaked algorithmic secrets. Now, if China steals Agent One's weights, they could increase their research speed by nearly 50%. OpenBrain's security level is typical of a fast-growing, around 3,000 person tech company, secure only against low-priority attacks from capable cyber groups. They are working hard to protect their weights and secrets from insider threats and top cybercrime syndicates. But defense against nation states is barely on the horizon, and that's a key distinction we've read about before in like Situational Awareness by Leopold Aschenbrenner. That's a whole different ball game. Like if you're going to defend yourself against, uh, it's like you can kind of imagine more or less that the difference between defending yourself against just like a regular um, hacker, like somebody sitting at home, in the mother's basement on a computer versus 007, right? It's going to be way harder to defend against 007. You're going to have completely different strategies and things like that. So, you have to have a lead time. You have to be working on it for 6 months or a year, um, in very specific ways to have a real defense against a nation state. All right, so then mid year, June or so, China will wake up, um, and then AI will take some jobs. I mean, I feel like this one is gonna come earlier. Oh, but they run the math. And, all right. So yeah, that's something I did now. The other big thing is certifications. I'm a believer in certifications. Some people say like, oh, it's a certification doesn't prove anything. There's CCIEs that um, somebody who's never gotten a certification in their life uh, makes them look like they know nothing. But for me, it's like, what else are you gonna do? Like, okay, like yeah, if you work in it, um, you know, like if you like, how do you get these big? Because like a lot of the people that are like better than the CCIEs just like have really relevant work experience, right? Like how do you get that? It's like you need experience to get experience, right? So like I feel like it's almost like a shortcut or like a hack or like a ticket in the door to get your cert. And in the meantime, these certifications, people are trying to make them relevant. Like they're like, if you pick the right ones, if you just pick any sort at random, then that's a waste of time. Even for a CCIE, like, there's like six different tracks. There's like the wireless, the enterprise, the service provider. So you can't just pick them at random and expect to because yeah, if you go for like the security one and now you work in service provider, there probably won't be much overlap, right? So like, but I think certifications are a very good strategy for career advancement. It's just you can't, if you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to get my CCIE and that'll take care of everything. It's not that simple. You have to get it in the right lateral. You have to get it at the right time. I think if you're not going to do CCIE work, if you're like, for example, if you don't have any years of experience, forget about the CCIE. Um, get definitely get the CCNA. But like nowadays, you can go straight to the CCNP or the CCIE. Like you got to think as well. It's like if you're focused and you're all in on the CCIE, like there's always trade-offs. You always have to put things to the side to 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 give something all you got. You have to give something none of what you got, uh, because your time and attention is limited. So, if you have a job, you should first and or foremost focus on doing well at that job. So, you know, but at the same time, it's a trade-off because in my experience, when you're on that grind and you're going after a CCMP or a CCIE, something like that, it's so easy to just fall off and then never study again for 10, 20 years. Like if you have that like disease or that like, focus, and I call it a disease because like if you can't like let it go and you're like, oh, I have to get my CCIE, have to get my CCIE, you just might get your CCIE. And that would be really important to your career. So if you're ever, thinking, oh, is it worth it? Oh, should I do it or should I not? Um, you probably won't get it. Like you have to be 100% obsessively all in and actually let it, kind of consume and almost ruin your life a bit. Like, if you wanted to um, get a promotion or something, but that would mean, y- you know, it's like, it's something that's so demanding that you kind of, in my experience, have to almost be a little bit unreasonable or like act in ways that don't make sense to get. And then you just have to trust that like it's a respected enough certification that it's going to pay off, which I think, you know I question if that's the case lately more and more. But definitely for me, I should get my CCNA back that expired. I should get just a basic Python cert, just because that'd be fun. Um, LPIC, I failed that by like 1 point. Wireshark one, that looks like one that's just fun and it's really good knowledge to know. Palo Alto is just something I see all the time in basically every job post out there. So if you want to maximize your probability of getting hired, you should stand out for the things that are available in the market. All right, so I guess that's it for this video. This video is a half an hour long. It's kind of a throwaway video, almost kind of procrastination, because as I said, I wanted to work more on this series here. So I'm not going to post this video up as part of this series because that would just clutter it up. So I'll post the video. I think it was good to just have a talk after not posting for a week. Another thing you can see that I made is really cool is this on one of my devices on my local area network, which is just an Ubuntu server with like 6 terabytes on it, just like a storage server, for like and just for like experimenting with stuff on it. I created my own RSS feed, so we can go in and see, and I have it only give me research papers with DOI strings, so we can go in and see like, oh, what's new and important and relevant in the research space. Um, so like this, so we got timestamps. So I don't get things every day with this, but video model, yeah. So you can see it's you, you, you can imagine how this would be quite useful. It's super important to have a um, uh, high quality information diet. So this can help with that. Like, why just take whatever the algorithms show you, especially since none of that is going to be the direct, you know, research with the DOI string and all that. Like, no algorithm out there on the planet just shows you validated academic research, as far as I understand. If it does, I haven't seen it. Well, I would guess there is, but there is now because I built my own. If I put in my own. Um, so yeah, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I'll get back to this Sovereign AI stack series.